Hello and welcome back to another episode of That Gym Couple podcast.
Hosted by Cal and Lucy.
This week's episode, we are going to talk to you a little bit about our half marathon that we completed, and we've got a few listeners' messages.
Nice, short, sharp, sweet episode.
Yeah.
And let's jump into it.
Yeah. I can't remember how to podcast.
It's not been that long.
No, we are actually the worst podcast hosts ever.
We do apologise. It's been too long. I'd love to say we've got loads of excuses, but there has been so much going on behind the scenes that we can't reveal to you guys right now. But yeah, in
a couple of weeks we'll be able to tell you.
Yeah, some people might be listening and already know, but yeah, it's great.
Sorry if I keep sniffing. I was just saying to Callum, I think I was ill in the last episode we recorded because we just got back from Italy and I was ill.
Yeah.
And I've caught a cold again. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I'm meant to be the epitome of health and fitness, and I've just had 2 colds in 2 months. So yeah, I probably look a little bit deranged, and I've got this big throw
I think
wrapped
you look
around me.
Beautiful.
Oh, thanks, babe. We'll get through the episode, but yeah, if I'm not on my tip-top form, that's why. But yeah, what do we have to update them on?
Well, we ran a half marathon.
Oh yeah, that thing.
That was.
It almost feels like
something.
It just feels like ages ago now.
Yeah, when was it?
A week on Sunday. So it's not. It's only been a
2
week
weeks on Sunday.
Sorry, yeah, it was a week ago on Sunday, just gone. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I don't know. I don't even know where to start. Like, we should have recorded this straight after, really, because we were so like in the field.
I also feel like actually now though I've had a lot of time to reflect on it. You know, we're talking about it. Like, it's a big achievement for us. Like it's
not like we did an Ironman.
No, of course. And like, there's people who will be listening, being like, "Oh, half marathon. Like, I've done marathons and stuff. Amazing." I'm very, impressed but for us, like we took up running in May, and the goal was to run a half marathon in October for cancer research without any prior sort of serious running experience
and with actually hatred towards running.
Yeah, I think what's really sort of what I've really learnt from the process, maybe not what I've learnt from the process, because one of the listeners' questions is about that, but what I've taken away from the race is that God, like, our bodies are capable of some crazy things.
Yeah.
I think you put an Instagram post up about that today, didn't you? Really, basically saying like how amazing it is that our bodies were able to take us through that with. I
mean, mine barely did. I just about got through. My hip was like in so much pain the whole way around.
I mean, we'll talk them through the whole day. So we stayed in Oxford. It was in Oxford. We stayed in Oxford the night before. Stayed in the hotel room. Oh God, yeah.
We have to tell them what happened. Like, we were so paranoid about doing anything differently the morning of the half, because obviously we've been doing long runs on the weekends and making sure that we eat the right food, we drink the right drinks, and we just always wanted to make sure everything was perfect. So we were fueled for our runs. We didn't have a stitch. Just you want to be in tip-top condition. So we literally packed the coffee machine because we wanted to have our morning coffee, and we packed the microwave because we meal prepped our dinner and our breakfast so that we could heat it up. We smuggled it in a back door of the hotel,
which is ridiculous because we could have had a coffee at the hotel, but it was just
I'm quite a fussy coffee
we wanted what we have, so yeah. I
think we just wanted to feel as relaxed as possible, and the thought of ordering takeout and then maybe having an upset stomach the next day, it was just, we just didn't want to leave anything to chance, did we?
No. So we meal prepped, took food with us, heat it up in the microwave. It was so funny because we were as far away in this hotel. Honestly, it was probably about 300 meters of corridors we had to go down to get to our room, which was right at the far end, and our car was parked the other side. So we went in to the reception, checked in, took our bags all the way down to the to our room, and when we got there I was thinking, crap, how are we gonna get a microwave through reception without
and the
getting
bar area.
without getting like seriously judged. There were people there just for like an evening meal as well. There was like a restaurant section, and
let alone if that's even like allowed. Like I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
But fortunately, we found like a side door, so we went out this side door and managed to get round to the car park, and we're like, brilliant. So we drove the car around, get it to the side. We managed to get in without anyone noticing.
Yeah.
And then like it was like the last corner we went through, there was a door, and like we opened the door, this bloke came out, and it was just like, oh,
nothing
right
to see here. Just two people carrying a microwave and a coffee machine.
So yeah, but that was I feel like that really helped in the morning just to have
have like the same routine, wasn't it?
Creature comforts.
Yeah, but do you know what? It was all really good, and it was an amazing day. And actually, looking back on it now,
sorry, I was just.
I'm still setting the scene. I'm just okay, but so I'll just say the next bit. So then we arrived at the event.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I went there the day before because I had to collect my bib and like my number.
Yeah. So it's not really relevant.
No, so
cool.
I'd seen like the athlete village, and it was quite big. Like it was quite a big sort of.
Yeah, there was like it's really cool. There was like loads of tents and. Didn't really know what to expect, but all I will say is it was a very, very cold morning, and obviously I knew it was October, but it hasn't got particularly cold yet. So, and I've been doing all my runs in shorts and sports bra.
During the summer, we did all our training,
but it was so cold. And the one thing I will just say, I don't think that they organised very well, was how long it took us to actually start the race.
Yeah,
like we arrived really early, we warmed up a little bit. But then we had to drop our bags off in a bag drop area. So then we had to take our jumpers off. So we were getting cold.
Everyone was like stood by this bag drop because they call you in like, so you get your pens, which is where your sort of predicted finish time is. And so obviously the first lot of pens got called, and they all went. Thatcher Joe, anyone who knows Thatcher Joe from YouTube, he was there, and he was in like pen A or something.
Is he a runner?
Yeah, he vlogged the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got there.
There was 13,000 people taking part in this race.
1,300 people.
No, 13,000 people.
No, there was not one.
I heard them say it over the tannoy when we arrived. There was 13,000 of you running today.
1,300.
Are you sure? No, I swear I heard them say
13,000 is a lot of people.
Yeah. So I thought it took so long to start.
That's like a rugby stadium, like a Gloucester rugby stadium.
Yeah, that was quite a lot. Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do you know? How are you so sure?
I'm fairly certain it was 1,300 people. 13,000 is a lot.
Do you want to bet?
Well, we'll find out afterwards.
He does this all the time, and he's so sure that he's right, and then I'm right, and it's like the hardest pill for him to swallow.
Because I'm usually right about these things. Yes, I am.
You just think I'm stupid and get everything wrong.
No. Anyway, so yeah, you go to the bag drop, and everyone stood there with their jumpers or coats on and stuff, with their bags going, I don't want to take it off yet.
You like waiting till the last minute to give your bag over.
So you do, and then we had to go to our pens. You go queue up.
Then I needed a wee. Oh my God. And the queue was about 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
In that sense, I would love to have been a boy and just gone behind a bush.
I should have probably just gone to... There was urinals there. I probably should have just gone to them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so then you're getting... So your jumper's off. You're in shorts and T-shirt. It's 9 a.m. in the morning. Actually, it's probably earlier than that. And it was so, so cold. So our muscles just aren't warm at this point. And then we walked to our pen. And I'm not joking you. We were stood in the pen for 45 minutes, would you say?
Yeah, because obviously you're waiting for all the other pens to go ahead of you.
It's like a slow, staggered start.
But... and I could see over the top to like the front of the pen or the back of the pen ahead of us, and it was like... I was just waiting for them to move.
But everyone was freezing, and also we were all kind of cramped in together, so you couldn't kind of be warming up. I think we thought we'd have room to warm up, but everyone was stood so close to one another, you couldn't start doing like leg swings, you'd hit someone. So we were all, and I run really cold, like even you were cold, and you never get cold. I was shivering, my back was like... I was so stiff. I was like this, like shivering and shaking. So I just think when I crossed that start line, my body just seized up. So I actually found it really difficult, the run. Like personally, like my body was just in a lot of pain. Yeah,
I mean, straight up from the off, you were not necessarily in a good way.
But I think I thought that would kind of ease off.
I mean,
like it normally does.
I'd been having issues with my hamstring for the 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
And as soon as we set off, I was like, this is not going to be fun for me. Like it was probably the first 8 kilometers I was in a lot of pain. But I couldn't say anything because Lucy was also in pain. So.
Yeah, I said that afterwards. I was like, I wouldn't have known you were in pain. He didn't mention it. He actually didn't mention it at all. He was just getting
No.
me through it.
Yeah, because I was like, what would be like, what's worth me saying that I'm also in pain?
I know.
Like, I'd rather just, because otherwise it's kind of like a mental thing then, isn't it? If I admit that I'm in pain to you.
I mean, I was in agony,
Yeah.
like, and a pain that I've never had. Like, we did an 18-kilometer run in the lead up. That was the longest run we did before the actual run, and I just happened to have a really good run that day. Nothing hurt. The first like 3 kilometers for me when I run is always a little bit sticky.
It's always a bit niggly, isn't it?
And then it's sort of like your body warms up, you find your stride, you find your pace, and suddenly everything feels great. I was obviously hoping I was going to get that feeling on the day, and I just didn't. I was in pain the whole way round. But in my head, I was just like, I am not stopping.
No.
I am not walking. I am finishing this race. And I wanted to get a good... No, I wasn't that worried about the time, but I did want to get a good time. And
it was... Do you know what? The one thing that really helped... So the course goes up and around through Oxford. Really lovely race, to be fair. Like, it was a lovely setting.
There was no like particularly like hard parts.
It's one of the flattest half marathons in the UK, I believe. So if you do want to do a flat half marathon, that's a good one to do.
I did not know that when I booked it.
There was one section, so you run out of Oxford down like this A road that's been like closed off, and then into a little village, loop the village, then come back down the A road where there's like no houses. So that, I think for us mentally, that was kind of a little bit harder because there's no people there cheering you on, and the people were amazing. Yeah,
like obviously we had our names written on the front of our vests, and just these random strangers like, go on Lucy, go on Cal, you got this, guys. Like when Callum was holding my hand and I was nearly in tears, and people are just like, Lucy, come on, you've got this. And I was like, I don't even know who you are, but thank you, I needed that so badly. But that's all well and good when you have that atmosphere getting you through, but as soon as you then get to a point where there's no one around and people around you are starting to walk and people are really struggling, it's such a mental battle as well as a physical battle. Like you're in pain, your mind is just like, what the hell am I doing?
That was tough.
Which again, I know sounds so dramatic considering it's only a half marathon, but
of course, but that's a big challenge
big
for us.
Yeah.
And there was one point in that really tough bit. There was a couple of blokes dressed as Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah, they could see I was struggling.
They'd obviously gone ahead. They set off and they were ahead of us, and then they'd obviously stopped in and just pulled in behind a bush to have a wee.
Yeah.
And we had on our backs. Not everyone was running for charities, but on our backs we had essentially like a thing saying who we're running for.
Yeah.
So we had Lucy's mum, and then I had Lucy's mum and a family friend who's also going through chemo at the moment. So obviously they then came in behind us and we were struggling. They obviously overheard us talking, and they were like, come on guys, like we know why you're running, we know why you're here, you just do it for them. And I was like, yeah, Batman.
He was like, think about something else, think about how good my bum looks in this costume. And then you were like, your mum has to sit there for 4.5 hours every fortnight in agony and go through chemo. You can run this race. I was like, yeah, I can.
Oh, Lucy also forgot her headphones.
Oh my God. I honestly, and I most long runs, I actually don't listen to music, but I have my headphones in. It's like this weird mental thing where if I have my headphones in, I can almost zone out, but I'm not playing any music. Got to the front of the start line, and this is the girl who brought the coffee machine, meal prepped the dinner, weighed out the oats, took yogurt bowls. Literally, I meticulously planned every single part of that evening and the day. Got to the start line, Callum gets his headphones out, and I'm like, oh,
left them in the bag.
I've not got my headphones. So Callum did give me one headphone, but there's just something that's not the same.
No.
So yeah, that was a bummer, but we did a good time. We got 2.5 hours, which is what we wanted.
Bang on what we wanted. I don't quite understand how it was that, because we were absolutely, like, we were running faster than we've run any sort of long distance run.
So we put our pace as 7:30, intending to go quicker than that, but that was our that was our
worst
case kind of scenario. We go 7:30. I think we basically did 7. Average the majority of the race.
It was like 6:45 or 7 was the split.
We were
I think it was
way quicker than we anticipated, but somehow still got 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the only time we stopped was a wee for
I had to go for a wee,
which was like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But we raised over £3,000 for charity, and we've done something amazing.
Yeah.
But what was the one question everyone kept asking when we got home? Would you do it again?
Oh,
So would you do it again,
you're gonna
Callum?
you're gonna do a full marathon next, are you?
No.
Do you know what? I've been saying, like, after I finished, I was just like, glad that's done. Don't need to do it again. But if there was another, if you would sign me up for another charity event, I absolutely would.
Oh, so I have to sign you up.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it myself. I didn't sign
I'm not going to
myself up for
volunteer
this.
myself
No,
for that.
but yeah, if it was a charity event, I probably would do it again, because I think
I don't think I'd willingly
I
put
wouldn't do
myself
it for
through
myself.
it.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay to do it.
No, that's so true. I think it's like I would liken it to, like, I've never given birth, so I probably can't talk about this, but I would say I could imagine it's like giving birth. You do it, and straight after people are like, would you do it again? And you're like, God, no, because it was agony. But then a few years pass, you kind of forget about the pain that you were in, and you're like, yeah, sure, let's do it again.
Yeah.
So that might happen.
I genuinely, and hats off to those who run marathons or more. Like I said to my mum afterwards, she's run the London Marathon. I was like, we finished, and I was like, I just don't know how you would have done double that.
No.
I get it. It's a mental thing, and like, if you're only halfway, you're only halfway. So you know that you've got.
Yeah.
And I think coming up towards that finish line, it was like, okay, cool, like, we're
prepare
almost
yourself to
there.
finish,
So
yeah. I was limping for like 2 days.
it's like always with any of our runs that we did, that last little stretch to go home or to finish the run, I knew that the end was in sight. So mentally, I was in my head thinking, like, come on, like,
and before you go on that run,
Yeah.
you're already mentally preparing yourself that it's 18 kilometers, 20 kilometers, whatever.
So it's hard, but hats off to you.
Me.
You're an absolute trooper.
Thank you. Hats off to you. Like, I dragged you into this. You
And
hated
I dragged
running.
you through it.
Yeah, you hated running just as much as I did. And we've both sat here and said we were not built for running. Like, we've both said, you in particular, I've not got the physique for running. Like, you big boy. I was going to say.
You're a big boy.
You're a big boy.
You're a big boy.
No, but you are. Like, you're a big build is what I meant.
Yeah.
And you smashed it.
Thank you.
You did so well, and you did get me through it. I wouldn't have been able to do it if you weren't holding my hand, honestly.
And obviously all the people who came out to support, that was
my
wonderful.
best friend from uni, she lives in Wales. We were at the start line, and I just saw her little head poke out.
With a big
and she had
sign.
a sign that said Team Lou and Cal, like whatever it said, and I had no idea she was coming for the day. She drove
so
like
sweet.
3 hours to be there. It was so
sweet.
sweet. And then, do you know what? For me, honestly, that was the best thing about it all, having my family there. We went for a lovely lunch after.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really enjoy the lunch because I was
you were
just
so tired.
I was absolutely zonked out. I get very dehydrated, and to be honest,
That was quite a lot.
That was something that I probably should have prepared for. Like, afterwards, I should have had some electrolytes ready.
Yeah.
But it completely slipped my mind to kind of do that. So replenishing then, and the drive back was horrendous. It's only like, what is it, like an hour and a half?
No, it's about like an hour and 10.
And we had to stop at like I think I
you
started driving,
because you drove there, and
Yeah.
I was like falling asleep at the wheel, and I was like, I can't.
I was like, just pull over, let's swap.
We
tough.
just crashed, didn't we, after that? But there's no feeling like seeing that finish line.
No, exactly.
Such a good feeling.
It was a nice and I made you like I was
my god, we were sprinting.
Like, come on, let's go, like, let's sprint, open your legs, let's go, let's like really just leave it all here. And then it's like someone filmed us and we're like jogging. We were not moving fast at all.
I know,
in my
in our
head I
heads
was
we
like
were.
absolutely like
And I'm pretty sure, didn't you put on
No, that was a band playing.
Oh, was
that.
it?
Yeah.
I can't even remember.
I was like doing Rocky as we
yeah,
went past.
that was good, to be fair.
There was a lot of music.
I
It
did
was
feel
really
quite
good.
emotional at the end.
The signs that everyone was holding was so funny.
I know.
One of them was, if you pass out, I'll pause your Strava.
Pain is temporary, Strava's forever.
Loved
so
that.
on to the next challenge now. People keep asking, like, what's the next goal? What's the next challenge? We kind of spoke about it on last week's podcast, but we don't have any plans for another challenge as such.
No, I think it's just going back to what we know and what we like doing for a little bit. I have taken rugby back up, which is dubious.
Exciting.
It is exciting. I'm excited.
Came back last night, literally covered
in mud.
in mud.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. Not like throwing myself into it yet, but just the training aspect of it is quite fun. Trying to find a balance with that in the gym.
And it's just nice to like not have injuries, I think.
Yeah.
Like running is a lot of impact on your body. Some people are just born to run, and I guess you get used to it, but
Yeah.
I personally feel like the running took a lot away from my gym training.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I didn't like that about it. I enjoyed the running, but I don't enjoy it enough to give up. Not give up, but to have to
sacrifice.
Yeah. So it's nice to go back to the gym and just be able to like give it my all again, and not have those like niggles holding me back, or like you said the other day, being worried that you're going to injure yourself and not
even,
be able to do the run.
Like, I think that we said this last weekend, it was just really nice waking up.
Yeah.
And just, or like, even just looking at the weekend ahead and being like, I don't have to think about like I've got to go and run this weekend, or I've got to go and do this distance, or if it goes terribly that I'm going to feel really like terrible
worried
about
that I can't run the race. Yeah.
It was.
I don't know if other people felt that way.
Probably.
Like let us know in the comments or something. Like I would love to know if other people feel that way, because I don't feel like it should have been that not hard for us, but that draining. Like it genuinely, like we had our long runs on Sundays, and we were both be thinking about it the entire. It's almost like we couldn't enjoy our weekend because we had this long 18-kilometer run looming over our head. If we loved running, that wouldn't be the case. But we quite like a slow morning on the weekend. Like we like strolling into town, getting a coffee, maybe going for brunch. But your whole morning's kind of taken over by stretching, eating, warming up, going out for the run, coming back, showering. And then you're exhausted.
And then, it's lunchtime, isn't it? And
and then like Sunday's done. And it's just, it's just not, I don't think I love it enough.
No.
That's not to say that we'll never run again though, but.
No, as I said in the last episode, I'd like to. And I haven't done yet. I haven't been out for a run yet.
I think when you feel like you want to, you will.
I did think about it the other day, didn't I? And then just didn't in the end. I don't remember what happened. But I'm just trying to find that balance again with training and rugby now and other things, and just there's a lot going on, but it's a skill to have. My uncle actually, he's an avid runner, loves it, and he said, to be fair, it's the one thing that anyone could do at any age, and with no equipment. You don't really need anything to run, which is true. It's lovely. You can go anywhere. You can be on holiday anywhere, and you can go for a run. You can find a way to exercise.
Like if there's no gym around, or if you're staying in like a log cabin somewhere but you want to do some exercise, you can go for a run. And that's a lovely feeling. But I'm glad it's done.
Stop playing with that.
Sorry, I was literally the first time I've done it.
I know, but you just got like a habit. It's just like you see it and your toes go straight forward to kick it. Right. Well, let's jump into some listeners' questions.
Let's do it.
So, question number 1 comes from Josh, avid listener.
Aww.
He shared one of our clips earlier today as well.
Oh, thank you, Josh.
What would you say running / doing a half marathon has taught you both?
Good question. I think it's taught me that I have really limiting beliefs about myself. And I can do anything I put my mind to. And I think I often forget that. I'm so quick to be like, oh, I could never do that. Oh no, that just isn't for me. And it's like, why would you set yourself up for failure like that? Just, if you want to try something, try it. Like, again, like we've said, it's only a half marathon. It's nothing special to a lot of people, but it is to us. It is a big deal to us. It's a big achievement. And I just can't believe we actually committed to it and we finished it. Like we set the goal, we did the training, and we did the race. I think I need to stop being so like limiting on myself.
I think
you can do hard things.
You can do hard things. You had that written on your hand. For me, I think it's that, like gym training, like most other things, you need a structure. So without that structure that we had for our running, I don't think we'd have got anywhere near where we wanted to go. I mean, there's so many ways you can go about it. You can get a run coach. Fortunately, we had someone close to us who does a lot of running, who was able to help us out a lot. But I mean, even now that there's apps that can set you up to get to those distances. If it's a 5k, Couch to 5k, if you've never done it before, there's an app called Runner, which is, I've heard really good things about. They essentially you put in what you want to run, and they give you a tailored program for that. So I think having that structure is so important. Not just with running, but with any sort of training, and I'd die on that hill that you need that.
And I'd also add to that, I would just say consistency. Like I don't think we would have built up the distance we did in the time that we did if we didn't keep that consistency. There was noticeable times where if we missed a couple of runs, I noticed I struggled a lot more.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to be doing 6 runs a week, but you do, like, again, with anything, you've got to be consistent with it.
And the final thing is that everyone's so...
Sorry, I keep sniffing.
Everyone's been so supportive, which has been really lovely. Like, people who don't know us very well, people who do know us very well, everyone's been very supportive of it. In what I would, and we probably would both agree, hasn't been the most supportive environment in terms of running. I don't think it's sometimes is very like...
That's another thing we've learned, isn't it?
It's sometimes very friendly, sometimes really not that friendly and quite judgmental.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put anyone
online
off.
and offline.
Yeah. I don't want to put anyone off running, but it's definitely shown its colours a couple of times. Like, the community has been really awful at points, but sometimes it's been absolutely fantastic. So
I guess, like, running is a solo thing for a lot of people. Like, you go out on a run to just be with yourself.
So much now, I think, because of these run clubs.
Yeah, and like, I just think I was really surprised to learn that we run past so many people running and they just don't even look at you. Like, in the gym is people are so afraid of the gym, and the gym is such a friendly environment. If you go to the same gym, if you are consistent, you start seeing the same faces. I'd be surprised if no one starts saying hello to you. Random people spot in with me and we have a chat, or then follow me on Instagram. Like, I've met lovely people at the gym. Running around where we live, no one even looks at you. They don't smile at you. It's like, guys, let's say hello to one another.
Maybe it's a southern thing, and maybe it's very different in the north. And
it just feels like everyone's sort of like comparing themselves. And I get that people probably say the same about the gym, but I actually don't think it's as bad in the gym.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But yeah, thank you for that question, Josh. Next one. Outside of the gym, what ways do you like to stay fit and healthy? I'll ask Lucy this one.
Oh no. Look, now we've stopped running, I'll be honest. Since stopping running, I don't do anything else. I'm going to be real with you. Like, I train 4, maybe 5 times a week. I'm using the other days to recover. Sometimes I'll go to yoga. I was going to
say, like, I think you're being a bit harsh on yourself, because you're in a period where you're trying things out. Like, you've done reformer Pilates, you've done yoga. We went to yoga together, hot pod yoga,
loved it,
which was great. But I think you're just trying to find that thing that you actually really enjoy and want to keep going to do.
The thing is, right, what you got to understand is health and fitness is my entire life. It is a lifestyle, but it's also my job. I spend my entire day talking about health and fitness, creating training programs, creating nutrition plans, talking about fitness to my clients. Then the only other part of the day that I have to myself, I'm at the gym. I choose to do that because I absolutely adore it. Sometimes after all of that, I just want to come home, put on my favorite reality TV show and relax. Like, I love going to the odd yoga session.
Maybe I'll change it. How do you stay mentally fit and healthy?
Yeah, but sometimes, it's like, imagine if I was doing all of that and then going to netball and hockey, and then I had this sport. That would be great, but I just don't. Like, the gym is my sport. It's what I enjoy. And that's it, really. I probably need to find some other hobbies that actually aren't fitness related whatsoever. Like, you are in a similar position. You work in a gym all day, then you train at the same gym, and now you've gone back to rugby.
Yeah.
But rugby's actually really good because like you're doing all those drills you were doing last night. Like
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
really
yeah,
good.
of course. I think it's different when it's sport related because you don't notice that. I mean, there was a lot of fitness based stuff yesterday, but a lot of it is very specific to the sport. If you join a good club, so actually you don't notice. You know, you might be doing a lot of sprint drills or something, but you're also doing some, handling drills as well. So you don't notice the fitness side of it as much, which is
Yeah,
why
and
I
it's
think I
different,
really
isn't it?
enjoy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is different in that respect, but yeah,
Yeah, I really enjoy walking as well. I know that sounds really silly, but like I love a weekend long walk. I would always walk somewhere over driving, well, most days anyway. Like we could quite easily drive down to our gym. We get a couple of hours free parking, but I choose to walk because I like to get out in the fresh air.
unless it's raining.
Well, yeah, unless it's tipping it
Actually,
down.
you're not
But
too bad.
I do typically try
Umbrella.
to walk. And I genuinely like a perfect weekend day for me would be getting up, going for a coffee and going for a long walk. Maybe going to a country pub for a roast afterwards. But yeah, I think our lives are generally just centered around movement
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, we're pretty active, so
Yeah. So we need a little bit of downtime and also we need time to recover.
yeah.
Like we're expecting a lot of our bodies.
Yeah. Absolutely. Next question. When are you and Lucy going to get engaged? You're so good together. Sent in by Love Lucy Fit. Thank you for that question, Lucy.
I said don't read that one out. I was just joking.
Right, okay.
I was
it's been run out.
joking.
Well, the jury's still out on that, I suppose.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Or when we're going to get engaged, or the fact that we're so good together. Shock.
Wow. The cheek of it.
No, on to the next one.
Yeah, let's move swiftly on.
So this one's sent in. How can training in the gym help those with I always butcher the pronunciation of this. Fibromyalgia, and is there a particular way for those to train? So fibromyalgia
Wow, very specific question.
is a it's a condition where basically you if I'm not mistaken have like severe sort of
pain.
Yeah, I've got a definition here. It's a condition that causes widespread pain and extreme tiredness. Now obviously we are not doctors.
Yeah.
We can only offer advice on what we have either researched or experienced with other clients and things like that. So it's a tricky one because obviously everyone's going to be in a different. This goes to a lot of people who've got various different conditions and stuff like that. So many things out there these days that cause people issues when it comes to training and keeping fit and healthy. So what's the one, the ovary one?
Polycystic ovaries.
Yeah. So, that I know that can be a real...
Yeah, that can debilitate
Absolutely,
people.
yeah.
And like I have clients that really struggle with it and they physically can't train on those days.
Yeah.
Like they're in bed in agonizing pain.
So I think it's learning what...
Your limits.
Yeah, learning what your limits are.
And really being able to listen to your body.
Yeah. And obviously, some of these chronic illnesses are going to be a lot worse than others, and it's a case-by-case scenario. Someone who might have it might feel it a lot more worse than other people, but
yeah.
From the research that I've had, that I've gone through, strength training is actually a really good way of dealing with a lot of these sort of conditions, and having that structured routine can really help. I think it's also about setting realistic expectations on what you can achieve and what is achievable within a certain time frame. If you can build a structured routine or get someone to help you and understand your body and how it moves and how it reacts to certain things, there is going to be a point where you start seeing improvement in your, I guess, day to day, like how you feel, in your life, sort of.
I think you got to.
Well-being.
Sometimes it's really scary, and obviously only do what's safe. But sometimes you do have to experiment and figure out like you said, like what your body is able to do and not able to do. And if it's not able to do certain things, don't beat yourself up about that. Just kind of accept that that's okay. Let me find something else that works. Or if you're having one of those days where you're just in pain and you can't train, try and do something different, maybe something a little bit lighter intensity. I'm sure there are ways around it. It's just being safe and finding what works for you.
And there's always going to be case studies of people who can achieve incredible things with a lot of these sort of diseases and conditions and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but as I said, don't use them as I need to be able to do that. I'm able to do that. It's a case of just being realistic with yourself and accepting, not accepting, I think that's the wrong word, because people can overcome so many things in their lives, and I think it's just important to realize what you are capable of. But as I said, just be sort of understanding of how your body is and how it's reacting to certain things.
Yeah, I think just ultimately, like, we know how important exercise is for your health, mental and physical, but I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but we know for a fact, like, it's proven to help with all sorts of diseases and conditions and illnesses. My mum, who's obviously just actually about to finish her chemo next week, she is like, she's never not been into exercise. She's always been in the gym and done stuff. She's not really ever done weights. She's always been quite into cardio. That she's not an unfit person at all, but she definitely hasn't prioritized exercise in her life. And all her doctors keep saying to her are exercise. Like, that needs to be your lifestyle going forward. She's changed loads about her lifestyle, but that's one thing that she is so keen to bring into her life.
Yeah.
And I've said I'll go to the gym with her, and they've even said, like, do some weight training. Like, it doesn't matter what age you are or where you are in your life, like, anyone can weight train. It's so good for you.
Working in a gym, I see some absolutely amazing people, older people who still come in and they absolutely nail it. So yeah, one of the PTs who works in my gym, big bodybuilder, he picked up a client who basically reached out to him and was like, I've seen you around, want to train with you. This guy's in his 70s, late 70s.
Wow.
And he's basically brought him on as an online client. And this guy's just going about, trains at the gym, sees him. I think they still do some one-to-one sessions together, but he's absolutely smashing it because he's got that can-do attitude. And
I brought on a client who was 65, who had long COVID, and she had all these issues with her joints, and her son actually signed her up because they were at their wits' end. The doctor said there was nothing they could do. They'd spoken to personal trainers and they'd said, we can't do anything. She's too old and she can't exercise, so we're not going to help her. I got her walking 10,000 steps a day, swimming 30 to 40 lengths in the swimming pool every single day. She couldn't do weight-bearing exercises, but she was still moving her body every single day, and it transformed her life.
I think if you go to the doctors these days with most conditions, the first sort of thing you'll get back from them would be exercise.
Yeah.
If you're not exercising already, start exercising because it's proven it will make your life better.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to end it.
I think it's a fantastic place to end it.
Exactly why we started this podcast.
It is.
So, yeah.
So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for those who sent in questions, bar Lucy.
We'll be having words after.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. And tune in next week.
Yeah, thank you guys. We promise to get better at being more consistent. We're so consistent in every other area of our lives.
Yeah, too consistent in some that we forget the other ones. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, but we really appreciate you tuning in, and we know that you guys do listen. We get messages of people saying that they look forward to every episode. So to those of you, we love you. Thank you so much.
And ciao.